Hello, hello, hello to everyone. Welcome to the latest episode of the Midwest Sesh. I am your host, Nina, and that is the lovely Haley.
Hello. Nice to see you guys.
Yeah, it's been a minute. But today we're really excited to chat about all things traveling while stoned. And all the fun legal states that we get to visit now, and all the places we get to see. So the reason we took a little break there is because Miss Haley there was in Colorado.
I was, and Nina went on a little trip herself to Wisconsin and Michigan, both.
I was just in Milwaukee this time, so
that's
need
right.
a little Wisconsin action before I move. So it's a little bit easier to get to Wisconsin from Chicago versus Michigan. So
totally.
Had to get my cheese on. Yeah, I had to get my cheese on. Needed some cheese.
Yeah, I feel like, man, first of all, I just want to know more about the Wisconsin cheese situation, and then I can tell you some more about Colorado.
Oh, absolutely. There's a place that we always stop by, which is like very Wisconsin light. Like it's pretty much like on the border of Illinois and Wisconsin. And it's called the Cheese Castle. Oh. And they literally just have like all the cheese you could ever want. Like if you're looking for a fancy cheese, just a sharp cheddar, they have like all different ages of cheddar. They have like millions and millions of different kinds of pub cheese, if you're familiar with pub cheese. The cheese spread.
Yeah.
So they got it all. But this time it was a little slim pickings. So I think it's because I normally go during the week, like on a Friday morning or something, but this was a Sunday. So it was extra popping at the Cheese Castle. So
is it like it's a store then, like a retail store, not a restaurant situation? Like
they've got a little bit of both. So it's mostly a store, but then they also have like, you can buy some like cheese curds, mac and cheese, grilled cheese, kind of stuff like that. And then they also have a bar. And then at the bar, they have literally just like crock filled with pub cheese and then just like Ritz crackers. And I don't know if that survived the pandemic because I didn't go in that part this time. But pre-pandemic, there was just a crock of pub cheese and some Ritz ready to roll for anybody, sipping on a beer in this.
That's nothing amazing.
Like a community crock of cheese.
You know what? I'm proud of you. I love that was one of your like first ventures out after the pandemic. It's like, I'm getting me some cheese. That's
absolutely. Yeah, I've never been to Milwaukee, so I wanted to go check that out. So we had a little bit of fun there.
I was pumped for you. I saw your pictures and I was like, oh man, there's so many different ways you can get stuff like that. Like, cheese to take home, cheese for your nachos, this and that. It's like so much fun.
Yes. They have all the goodies.
Do you like cannabis, like the strains that are like cheesy terpene profile? Do you know what I'm talking about? Like Parmesan cheese?
Yeah, I definitely like used to shy away from that type of cheesy stuff. But then I tried one. I think it was called Gorilla cheese, and it it literally tasted like Parmesan, but it was really tasty. Like I was really into it. So I don't shy away from the cheesy stuff anymore. What about you?
I'm all for that. Actually, that's probably like one of my favorite terpene profiles because it's so hard to find. Like that strain genetics of like, and like when people in the past would say stuff like, oh, this strain is like cheesy, I was like, what do you humanly mean by that? Like, what? But now, like after you have it, it's like a savory, like cheesy, like umami. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Like, some note savory, that you're like, for what? Sure. It's so good. Yeah. Love it.
Yeah, it's definitely something I look for now because like you said, it's kind of, and some things that you don't necessarily think will be cheesy tend to be cheesy sometimes. So
yeah,
it's always a fun little game.
What are you smoking on today?
Today I'm smoking, that's a good question. It's kind of like a little bit of a mix between, because I kind of like add a little on top of a bowl if you ever do that. When you're too lazy to like pack a fresh bowl, I usually just like sprinkle it. I'm like, I'll just cheat it. So it's kind of a mix between horchata and kiwi skunk. So both very interesting flavored things. The kiwi one is pretty kiwi, so it's pretty nice. What are you consuming over there?
I was gonna say I feel lame today, so I just have liquid situation. I got another can. I got a can I've been drinking. It's just a little light guy with 2 milligrams THC.
Yeah.
I got that, and then I've been using these things called Genius Drops. Have you heard of those?
No.
It is okay. It's like a little pill situation. It has 2 milligrams THC, and then there's caffeine and a few other things that like are stimulant-y. And I got it at the dispensary.
Those like 1906 straps. Okay,
yeah. So
they have them here and in Colorado.
Yes,
right.
Yes.
So okay, cool.
I was like saturated in that. I'll show you them.
Yeah.
It's one of these situations.
It's really I love the packaging so much. It's such a pretty color.
It's awesome. I use these today for work, and I felt like it helped me get through this dang day. Like, have you ever gone on vacation and then you come back and you're like, this is the worst depression I've ever had. Like, I just hate being back. That is how it feels like coming back from Colorado sometimes.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel like the post-travel slump is so real because you're like, I wish I was still like having fun and not at work and smoking all that good that I can't get here. And it's just such a bummer.
But I'm excited to hit it on the head.
Yeah, I need to know. A crazy bird just flew really close to my window.
I saw you flinch.
I was like, what the hell? Anyway, I want to know more about your Colorado trip because I feel like us stoners, us people who consume a lot, tend to plan our vacations a little bit around where we can do that, like cannabis tourism deal, like try different things, go to different dispensaries, see how it is in other states, so I want to know your thoughts. Give me the scoop.
That's always kind of our thought, like, is going to Colorado for the weed prices and experience of it. But this time we had a trip that was like jam-packed full of whitewater rafting. Then the next day is a huge hike where we got a little bit lost.
Oh my God.
And then as soon as that was over, we had a ghost tour. So it was like bang, 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 bang. We even have friends out in Colorado, like several that have moved out there. And we had such a jam-packed weekend. We didn't even see any of them. We just did all these activities. And then by the time we went home, we're like, oh my God, we're really tired. So
sorry.
It was fun.
Too busy
sorry about
it.
Yeah. But they understand. I have to tell you about how we got lost. It was
yes, please tell me.
So my dad is on all these Facebook groups for Rocky Mountain National Park. Like, he's obsessed with it, and he's on all these Facebook groups to see the hikes each morning. He's like, oh, the hike yesterday morning was even more beautiful. Like, he looks at it like that level, like obsessive. Okay. So he researched this particular trail, and anyway, we start going on it. You have to have spikes on your shoes because it's so snowy.
No.
So that should have been my red flag. That, and then we had to have ski poles to hike up because it's so snowy and unsteady.
What the fuck? You would not catch me. Yes. I literally I'll tell you a story after yours, but keep going.
Okay. Well, I'm probably about the same feeling you are, because after this hike, I was like, okay, maybe I'm not cut out for this. So we go hiking. It's going good. But there's so much snow that you can't go over the trail at some point. So we're like, oh, wow. Okay. The trail is like, you can't get on it. You have to go way down the snow and then up the bank to try to find it again. So we go down and we get lost and we can't find the trail again after we do this. No. So it's all down to trees. Like, just everywhere we go is like trees, every step you go. So you're trying to like climb over them, and they're all like covered in like where the branches have chipped off, there's like an inch of really like spiky parts, like branches. So if you don't step over it just right, you could just really hurt yourself. And yes. So we're going as slow as possible. I was like being really calm. I was like, this is not really what I signed up for. Long story short, my dad falls through a tree, through the whole tree. Oh my God. So he's standing on a tree. It's like, it's like had so much snow that it's not stable. It falls through the whole damn tree situation.
Oh my God.
So the part of the story is that everybody's okay, but he's on blood thinners. So it cut his leg pretty hard from these spikes I'm talking about, like where the branches. Yeah. Cuts his leg right where like your leg artery is, like where.
Oh my God. Does his ass have to get like airlifted out of here or some shit?
Not quite.
I cannot.
Because my husband saved the day, but he hurt himself like in an area where every time he lifted up his leg, it was like where it would mess up the scar. You know what I mean? Like you can't.
You're walking and you're moving, and you can't just like.
Yeah. So every time he would like reach really far with his leg, it would start bleeding more. And we're just like, oh my God. And I couldn't get a true reading on how injured he was because of like, you just can't tell, you know, it's like really, he's like, I'm fine. Like, so hear this, we get up finally on a trail and we're sitting down and he's using snow to clean off all his wounds. He's got a lot on his arms and then this big one on his leg. He's like taking snow and he was like doing this and he flings some of it. It got blood on me and I freaked out.
Like, I cannot do this. We like, this ain't no Survivor shit. I thought I was doing like some light sightseeing and I am fighting for my life right now.
So literally he's like, oh, I'm fine. And then some hikers come by and they're like, sir, are you okay? Oh my God, are you okay? He goes, oh yeah, my daughter, she's got me covered. She's got all the bandages.
You're like, no, please. I have nothing. I have like one Hello Kitty in the wallet and that's it.
Literally. So yeah, she's like, oh, my daughter's got it. Don't got it. So as soon as they leave, I'm like, maybe they're the last people on this trail. I was like, I haven't seen anyone in a minute. So I freaked. I hugged a tree and I was like, I am not taking another step further. I was like,
oh my God, Haley, I cannot. Oh my God.
My dad goes, well, that's fine. You sit here, Reed, your husband can sit here. I'll just go to the summit myself.
He was going to continue on.
Yeah. So I was like, my husband was really sweet. He was like, you know what, Larry, I don't think you should go to the summit. You know, he didn't say anything mean or like, you're bleeding pretty bad. Nothing like that. He was like, you know what, how about I scout it out? So my husband goes to the summit by himself and checks out how far it is. In the meantime, I'm just like hugging this tree, still crying. And my dad tells me the worst jokes. He's like, boy, well, good thing your husband's a tall guy, because if he ever dies, we'll be able to find his femur bones real easy.
Like, great. That's exactly what I'm thinking about right now. Is my husband die and then you're bleeding out and I'm
your ass is bleeding
calm. Oh my God. I feel like dads just like don't have that comforting gene 99% of the time. Like they just cannot.
He's like, he probably thought it was really funny, but I was like, it's not funny. And so eventually my husband comes back. He's like, yeah, it's like, a mile ahead. That's what's ahead of you guys. So we all make the summit together. We take a photo at this like lake at the top. And I'm just, I'm just like,
oh my God.
Just like ugly crying on my husband because I still don't know. I was like, what if we start going back and we have to go back this way? What if he falls again? And I was just really not having.
No, I would have been like, call an Uber or something. Get me out of here.
The other thing is your cell phone does not even work in this whole town of Estes Park, like where this park is at. So it doesn't work even 4 hours down the mountain. It won't work, but it didn't work up there. And I remember crying and I told my dad, I was like, I Google things for a living. I don't know how to troubleshoot this. I was like, I don't know what to do. So we make it back down. Everyone's proud that we made it to the top. We make it back down the mountain. And literally we were so crunched for time that we just had 10 minutes to return our ski poles. Like it was that close before the park or the thing closed. And then right after is when the ghost tour was. We were like bang, 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 like finish this hike, turned in the ski poles within 10 minutes of it closing, then beelined it over to this ghost tour.
Oh my God.
So, packed, dude.
That's one hell of a vacation. I don't know if I could do it.
The vacation or the ghost tour was awesome because it was the Stanley Hotel and they bring you to all these old rooms and it was the first hotel in America with electricity, so it's like got really cool stuff. There was a Stanley steamer car there that was run off steam. It's like, okay, this is cool. But I was so tired and pictures. I will. I was so like distraught though from the day that I was like, this is cool, but
I can't even blame you, dude. Like, I'd be like, I need to go home. I need to smoke. I need to eat an edible and forget.
I did eat edibles throughout the trip because like my dad was like, why don't you take one of those cannabis pills? So I took one.
Like, I need more than one.
But I was like, you're bleeding. It won't calm me down that much. I was like, mostly, you know.
Oh my God, I cannot.
That's my story, is that it was like one of those harrowing adventures where like, wow, we need a vacation from the vacation.
I feel like I need a vacation after listening about your vacation, because holy shit, that is.
But it was great. It was a memory maker. And my dad was like, you know, it was just Father's Day. So he's like, boy, wasn't that trip badass? And he was just living it up. So
and I was like, sure, dude.
My husband saved the day though. I was like, seriously, if he hadn't like checked it out, I don't even know.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, on the bright side, did you snag any goodies when you were there? Like taste anything that was absolutely out of this world?
We did. So we got flour while we were there because
it's so cheap.
Is so cheap.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, $8 a gram. So we got like a few grams. And it was one thing I was going to ask you about, Nina, the weed in Illinois versus the weed in Colorado. It feels alive out there.
Yeah.
Like it feels like, it's like, oh, someone made this. There's like care.
Yeah. And I think it's different because you can buy in bulk versus where like here, it's just like everything in it is in its own, you know, eighth gram, you know, or gram package. Yeah. Like you don't really have the freedom of just being like, oh, there's a giant jar of weed. Like,
yes.
Whoa. And then like watch them like pick it out with little tongs and stuff and like weigh it out. Like, I think that's fun. I like that. Like,
it's so fun.
Experience like, part of it.
I think the thing, if I was like trying to tell people where to go for like a weed vacation, if that's like your thing, is like, I want to go on vacation and I want some weed. I mean, obviously California or Colorado are like the two main ones that people know about. But now after hearing your like chats and things, I think Michigan could be another vacation spot for many people, you know, like lots of cheap, good weed there.
I definitely think the Midwest is gaining some popularity in the just because we're getting more and more states that are becoming legal.
We're like the crossover spot. Like say you're coming from the, you know, East Coast and you go through Chicago, it's like, okay, I'll pick up something. So I do like that we're serving like an important function, but
I would say the first legal place I went was Portland, Oregon.
Oh yeah.
And that was a really good experience just because like the quality of the stuff that I was able to find out there was awesome. The dispensary was really nice and the bud tenders were really like educated and they were just like really helpful. And I think it kind of like, I was like, oh, I want to live here. Like,
right. Yes. Like their bud tenders are different. Like here in Illinois, it feels like the DMV a little bit.
Yeah. We've said like that before.
It's
like going to the doctor.
One and done. Yeah, going to the doctor. But like out there, like in Colorado, one thing I noticed, like our first bud tender was a mom and she was like, talking about her kids a little bit, you know, she's very professional, helped us with our questions. But like out there, being a bud tender is like a career. It's a job. Like here, it's like, we just let whoever do that.
Yeah. There seems to be a little bit more like qualifications needed elsewhere, it seems like.
That's harsh. There's a lot of great bud tenders here, but like they have to be what's the word, like a self-starter, you know, like they have to like want to know this stuff because nobody's gonna make them.
And I feel like too they have to work for some like a dispensary that cares about that stuff, because some of them are just like pumping out product, but there's other ones, you know. There's a new one that I found that I really like that has like they train their staff and they show it on Instagram that they're training their staff on stuff and like stuff like that. I like seeing that, you know, they're learning so that I can learn and then like share with other people, you know, that kind of jazz.
No, that makes me happy. I love it. I mean, the cannabis industry is really just like an extension of the hospitality industry. And like, if you're vacationing, that's like an important part of your vacation, right? It's like getting good. So I guess like my list would be like Oregon, Colorado, California, you know, Chicago or Illinois. Where's another place though that like people could visit that's super cannabis friendly.
Yeah. I really want to travel to Canada.
Yeah.
That's definitely been on my list. I think now that I'm moving closer to Detroit, it's gonna be obviously a lot easier to get, to like Toronto and stuff. But I'm curious.
I'm so jealous.
I'm curious to know, like, their cannabis market is just so different. I'm excited to like see, what the situation is. So that's definitely not one that you want to like be sneaking stuff home though, because you got to drive through the checkpoints and shit at the bridge.
Yes.
So,
and that almost makes it like not fun to go, because it's like, well, if I can't bring anything home, that's no fun. Like, but
I mean, I gotta say, I am big baby squad when it comes to that stuff. Is like, I usually don't like bring stuff home. I think I've like brought like, a thing of concentrate, because that's pretty easy to like sneak. And like edibles and stuff are pretty easy, carts and stuff like that. But like, I never really bring any flour, because I'm like,
I've heard like on Reddit, people are like, oh, you can bring like an ounce, nobody cares. But it's like, also, I don't want to be that person though, because just going to the airport makes me stressed enough that I don't want to think about that. And we flew from Denver to St. Louis, which means like, all right, we're in Missouri, where shit is actually not the best,
the greatest,
like weed wise, so I was like, I don't want to mess up anything.
Like the cops here, if they called the cops like on you in Chicago for weed, the cops would show up, or well, they probably wouldn't even show up, but like they would show up and be like, why the fuck am I here? That's happened before. I literally have watched that happen before. Like,
really,
I lived in a dorm at a point, and like it was like half dorm, half like just general student housing, so it was a couple of different schools and like some older people who were in school. And my friend was she dealt and she smoked, and I can't even remember who this exactly was, but I watched it all happen. Like, someone called that like RAs for them smoking in their room. The RAs came and was like, give me the bag, like, show me what you're doing, like, I can smell it, I'm not stupid. And then they like grabbed her backpack, and she had like a bunch of stuff like already, that damn bird's back, sorry like, just like, where's it going? I live on the 15th floor, like, where is it? It's really close to the window. Anyway, she like had her backpack, and she had like all her shit like weighed out already, because like I said, she was like dealing. And the RA was like, oh, this is way worse than you guys just smoking it, blah blah blah, and like called the manager of the building, and like the, you know what I mean, the people who have to like deal with the shit. Property and they called the cops. And they called the cops, and the cops are like, it's fucking 2:00 in the morning on a Saturday night in the middle of the summer in Chicago. Who cares?
Please. Really,
like, this kid has weed. I don't care. Like, they were
when
like,
was that?
This was probably like 2014, 2015. I think it was like 2014. And they were just like, we literally, why are you calling us? Please leave us alone. Like, we don't have time to deal with the shit. Like, and a bunch of kids I knew, like, I went to art school, so everyone was smoking. And a couple kids got caught smoking in the park. They would just give them like a ticket and stuff. Like, it was never really a big deal, because I think like they just didn't want to deal with it.
They had
like,
bigger fish to fry, like real problems that it's like, please, like,
but in Missouri, they'd be like, hello, what is that? What do you have? I
was gonna say, I have friends that literally lost their license. I have a friend that literally, he had a tweezer that had some weed resin on it, like resin, holding a joint. That was it, just the tweezer, and the dogs picked that up, and he was like in trouble. It's like, so I don't know. It's just so stupid how it's like really different depending on even what part of the state you're in. It's like,
oh, for sure.
It's dumb.
I'm definitely excited to get to a place where like more and more places are legalizing things. It's weird. I'm traveling to Virginia. I'm going to Virginia Beach in August, and they just recently, so July 1st, it'll be legal in Virginia, which is like the first southern state to legalize. Which is crazy, because I think of Virginia as a southern state, but like not, like it's kind of on the cusp almost, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of in that East Coast almost situation. Like, I'm pretty sure some states nearby are legal. But I'm curious to see what that's about. I don't think anything is going to be for sale obviously yet. I think it's in the same situation that like Washington DC is in, where I had a friend who just traveled to Washington DC, and I was like, tell me the scoop, like, what was it about, how was it? And he was like, it was weird, like, you would go to it's not a dispensary, because you're not like, you can't buy weed, like you can't buy cannabis, you can't buy You're not buying cannabis or a cannabis product. You're buying something else and being given the gift of cannabis.
Oh my God.
Isn't that
it's
so
like,
weird?
Okay. It's like where you get a membership bracelet and in return, this bracelet gives you an eighth of weed, but you can't just directly say that. Okay. That's so stupid.
100%. It's so bizarre. I don't know if that's forever how it's going to be in Virginia, or if they're like, it's just in the interim, you know, before they figure that whole like sale situation out. But I'm like, that is weird, like, because he said he bought something like Cool Ranch Doritos or something for like $50, and then like got a gift of you know, weed with it. And he said even the bud tender or the person at the store was like, oh, you mean, because he said something like, oh, I want the like Blue Yeti or something, whatever the name of the strain was. And he was like, no, you mean you want the Cool Ranch Doritos, right? Like you want the Cool Ranch Doritos. And then with the gift of
that job. My God, I would hate that so much. Right? Like, oh my goodness.
Because then if you're not even talking about it in the sense that you're purchasing this product, then you probably can't even speak about the effects of the product
or questions you have.
Answer questions. None of it. So it's like so weird.
It's like just as bad as when I bought my first hitter and I said the word hitter and was kicked out of the store. I was just like, I'm sorry, but what is the correct word that you want me to pretend to say? I'm sorry, they don't have the exact, you know, I'm sorry, could I see this bat? That's the word they wanted me to say. And it's like,
or like
how dumb. Like
you can't say bong, you have to say like water pipe. And it's like,
please,
like the cops are gonna roll and be like, bong, bong. They said bong. They said bong. They said bong. Take them down. Take them down. You know what I mean? Like, it's so strange.
Alexa turns on and is like, arrest these people.
I'm like, what do you think is gonna happen? Like, okay, friends.
Well, you'll have to give us the scoop and like do some recon, you know, when you go there, see what Virginia is like. Like, I feel like we need a few connector states to make it more like, you know what I mean? Like you still can't drive like coast to coast and hit up weed spots all along the way. It's kind of like hit or miss, I think.
Hit or
like
miss,
Vegas is another good one. So that would be a nice place for people to travel, is like Vegas has weed that's everywhere and I think somewhat cheap, but I'm not a Vegas kind of gal.
I was supposed to go there right before the pandemic, like literally the week that this whole shit started. I was supposed to be in Las Vegas. Like I was supposed to be in Las Vegas for the whole week.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So I'd done some like pre-research about like what I was gonna buy, brands I was gonna try, things, because I don't want to try things I can find. You know what I mean? Like there's some obviously like brands that overlap between like here in California and here in Michigan, Las Vegas and Michigan, yada yada. So like I don't want to try things I haven't tried before. Like I want to scope out, you know, new stuff I cannot get. And so I was like, you know, scoping, and they do not take medical cards. You know, they don't take outside state medical cards, because I for sure called and asked.
I love that you did that.
But they do usually give like discounts, you know, if you're a med patient from out of state. I did see that, which was awesome, but the prices were actually pretty expensive. Like it was pretty on par with Illinois. And then I'd say California was pretty similar. Like,
I mean, isn't it kind of, go ahead.
I mean, I guess I would say that I didn't really notice the price of like the taxes or anything like that until I became a patient and started like shopping on the legal market regularly. Because like when you go on vacation, I feel like you're just like, spend it, do it, whatever. You know what I mean? So, charge it, like whatever. That's at least my mentality on vacation. I'm like, I'm on vacation, buy it, who cares, you know? And so like I didn't really think about that stuff, but now that I'm like a more conscious, I guess, consumer of the like more legal market, I'm like, bro, that's expensive. Like, holy shit. Like that's like, a lot.
What I was gonna say, isn't it kind of embarrassing that like, okay, the weed that you would get in Illinois and the weed that you would get on vacation in downtown Las Vegas are the same price? Like, I'm sorry, but that seems like that's not quite right. Like one should be like top shelf, like, okay, I'm on vacation, everything's expensive. It's like going to a baseball game where a Coke is $12, but like for your average day-to-day usage, it's like, I don't want to pay for weed that's $60 every time. So I'm sure you share this sentiment. One day, the vacation dream is Amsterdam, the mecca of.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
We'd travel and food and bike rides, all that fun stuff.
Yeah, I think that would be a fun spot. I don't know all that much about like Amsterdam. I haven't been to Europe yet. I feel like I got to do more exploring of the good old US of A before I go abroad. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm the same
I don't know.
way.
I feel like I haven't, as a kid, we just did like a lot of beach type vacations. Like we would go to Mexico a lot, and like my mom was like a big cruise person. So we did a lot of that. So I haven't seen like, the West Coast or a lot of that. So until I was older. So I feel like I need to do,
Yeah.
I always say like once Texas legalizes, I'll be in Texas. I want to check out Texas. You know what I mean? I want to see like Austin and stuff.
I bet they would do a weed scene very nicely. I cannot wait to see that.
Right.
I hope that happens sooner than later. I'm actually kind of surprising that's not happened. That would be the logical next step of like Illinois, then Texas, and then you could go to California, all those places. But yeah, it's not even close as far as I've researched. I don't think it's even close.
In Texas, right? Who knows? They got a lot of different issues. Sorry if you're from Texas.
It should be like, sorry if you're from Illinois.
Yeah, that too. We got a lot of problems.
You got any other vacations coming up or any big trips?
Nothing super big planned. I'm trying to think of like what my next like weedcation would be.
Weedcation. Is that what you said?
Yeah, because we would like call it, because I'm like literally all I do, like if I go on vacation with my boyfriend or like my friends or something like that, is like we just smoke, eat, like if it's beach or something, like swim, but other than that, just like it's all about eating and smoking and hanging out. So I think I really want to go back to Palm Springs. I really loved Palm Springs. They had a lot of really good product, dispensary wise. I found a lot of good stuff. And I really do want to go back to Portland, because that one, like I said, it has a little special part in my heart for Portland, since that was like the first legal,
I was gonna say they've pioneered things, and their weed is like, I want to say you can get like an ounce for like $15, like something that you're like
super cheap. There's just so much of it.
Yeah, it's wild. I hope my cat doesn't tear down these lights. Look at her. She's got a mischievous look in her eye.
Yeah, she looks a little sus. Do you have any plans for vacations to any other legal states for yourself? No,
I don't think. Yeah, I think I may make a trip to Chicago possibly. But I mean, the weed there is the same price, but I think for work I may have to do one work travel trip. But I don't know. I'm sure other people that are listening to this feel this way, but I was so pumped to like get out of the house. But at the same time, it's kind of nerve-wracking to be gone and like around people so much. I'm still a little weird about it.
I feel that for sure.
Yeah.
It was weird in Wisconsin. Like literally no one was wearing a mask. I was like, okay. So that's what we're doing.
That's what we're doing. We're in this new phase that no one knows, where or how we got here, but
or what to do.
Yeah. I feel like should we toast to this?
Yeah.
I'm alive still, Nina. Look at this. I'm still here.
I'm so glad. That really had me nervous. I'm not gonna lie. My only hiking experience was doing the Red Rocks trails.
Oh, great.
In Red Rocks that my friend. They're nothing, but they're like nothing. No, they're not really that big of a deal if you're like a hiking person, but I'm not. And I was literally wearing sandals. I was wearing my Birkenstocks. And if, at the end of the trail, I did not think I was going to continue being friends with my friend Anne, because she had tricked me into this hike. She's like, it's only like a mile and it looks like it's like flat, because you know how they have all the like trail signs and shit. She's like, it looks like it's pretty flat. I'm like, okay, I got sandals on, like, are we sure? Like, I'm literally drinking a Coca-Cola, got my
I'm
sandals on, and like I'm like, are we sure? And she's like, yeah, it'll be fine. I died. I was like dead. I was like, I cannot, like my whole body hurt. had like 7 million asthma attacks because like the altitude like mixed with my asthma was like fucking me up, and I was like I can't breathe, I'm gonna need to get airlifted out. And then there was like a concert happening at the same time, so then like all these concert goers had to witness me having a freaking breakdown. Like, at least we both had a breakdown in the mountains.
I mean, I've been on those Red Rocks trails you're talking about. They're not small to me. They're not small in any way. So I'm impressed because it's quite the uphill climb at points. You know?
Yes, like, I was like literally climbing on rocks, and I was like, I literally do. My body is not made for this. I am literally wearing sandals, but like I said, I was kind of proud of myself after it. So shout out, Anne. Even though in the moment I thought I was gonna kill you, I really love you and appreciate you back. Making me go out of my comfort zone. So I did get some cool pictures, and I can say that I did do a hike at the Red Rock Trail. So
I also was quite the diva. I was like, I'm not talking to either of you for 2 days.
God,
shit like that. I'm like, Haley, that's so fucking mean.
My boyfriend was like, mean. What did I do? I didn't condone this. Like, I'm just here as a third party. And I was like, no,
doesn't matter. I'm pissed.
Yes. No one look at me. And it's like I was having asthma attacks, so I couldn't even like rip my vape to like calm myself down to not be such an angry bitch.
I'm with you, Nina. I'm with you.
Yeah. I'm so glad we're on the same page. Anyway, on a more positive note, cheers to all the vacations I hope people are planning and taking, because now things are a little bit more free.
Tell us where you're going. We want to live
sure.
through your travel experience. We want to vicariously live through you. So tell us, 100%. DM us. Yeah.
Cheers.
Even if it's something small, tell us.
Yes. Yes.
Ayo, that was a good one.
I hope everyone, yes, thank you. I hope everyone has a great week, a great weekend, and that everyone stays high and stays happy.
That is a beautiful blessing, Nina. I tell you what, it's like the Catholic blessing from us.
Yes.
See you guys.
Bye.